I tagged you.
There. There we go.
There you go.
I gotta stop looking down too.
Yeah, and then we can see the comments then. So I can't hear them if I get this on, but
The heck? Come on.
it's gonna be fun. Oh, who's on there? Kathy Henry. All right, hi Kathy. Thanks for joining us. And Royce.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You. Yes, you. Get out of here.
Tune in to the WTF show this Saturday at KBPI.com for more fake news, fun, and news that should be fake but just isn't. I'm Rhonda Shea. Join me 3 to 4 p.m. Mountain Time this Saturday for more fake news and more fun and great music on KUHSdenver.com.
Well, we're live, and we're live. I have a very special guest with me. Thank you for joining the WTF. I have a really cool guest with me today. I'm so excited. Matt Kneed. Say hi, Matt.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me, Rhonda.
Oh, I am so thrilled to have you. I have a great guest with me today. And Matt is a comedian, but he's also a former, one of my favorite radio stations, KBPI, Rocks the Rockies DJ. And you were there from 2005 to 13.
Yeah, I was Uncle Nasty's co-producer, co-host, or produced it and co-hosted the show for 8 years. It was really fun. Great times.
Isn't it great? I mean, we talk about radio all the time, and people just can't believe. You can't even talk about some of the stuff because people can't believe it happened.
Oh.
You know, it's an insane business. It is one of the most fun businesses to be in. That's why I love this place too. This place reminds me.
You said just before we started, if you haven't been fired 3 or 4 times, you're not really in radio. And it really is amazing. It's the only job I've ever had where I got fired and I thought to myself, wow, this is awful.
Oh, no.
Because it's the only job I really understand. It's the most screwed up business ever, and I want to keep doing it.
It's a badge of honor when you get fired.
It's a bag of honor.
A bag of honor. It's a bag of something. But it's a bag of something. But it's also one of the things that I think is really funny is that it's one of the few businesses where it actually doesn't matter. It's like, you got fired, great. What'd you do? Oh, that's great.
Yeah, nobody's surprised or appalled.
It's just,
move on.
Yeah. It's great. And they do that like so randomly sometimes. Like, I don't know, they get new ownership and they just decide to change all the rules, or they, just decide a new person comes in, we need all new people. I mean, it's pretty transient. It's getting a little better that way, but
whatever I had for breakfast doesn't agree with me, you're fired.
That's it. It's pretty much like Donald Trump, you're fired.
You're gone. Randomly.
But it's a great business and it's so much fun, and every minute that I have spent in it has been a joy, Except for one little short stint I did when they tried to make me a salesperson.
You can't. There's a certain level I just don't function at either.
Yeah, some things just don't.
I've enjoyed every bit of it though. To turn on a microphone and get to talk.
Well, and we're going to talk a little bit later. Now we're going to continue this talk on the video side, but on the radio side, we'll pick up with Matt after a couple of classic rock songs. But we're going to talk about your new career because Matt's a comedian. He always has been. He's great at it. Improv, he does that. He works with the Comedy Works and all kinds of people. But he started a new business called a Laugh Coach. And so we're going to talk to you a little bit later about what is a laugh coach. Maybe we all need some coaching.
Oh, everybody's got it. Everybody's got the talent.
And we're gonna talk about that and come back and talk about that on the air. But right now on the radio side, we're going to get back to the music, play a couple of great classic rock songs, and we're going to continue our conversation with former KBPI DJ and comedian Matt Kneed on the video feed. I'm just going to move this for now. That's out of the way. And so, Matt, I want you to tell everybody, we're probably going to repeat some of this for our radio audience a little bit later, but tell me about what's happened to you since 2013. Give us the nutshell of Matt Kneed.
I started doing improvisational comedy in 1985 in Chicago, and I just happened to wander into a thing with a guy named Del Close. And I wound up going out one night. My friends always said, "You're funny, you should do stand-up." And it was never in my wheelhouse. And one night I saw the show in Chicago called The Herald. And it was 8 guys, took the first idea from the audience and did a 45-minute show based on that idea. And it was brilliant. And it blew my mind. And this woman came out and said, "Hey, we teach people how to do this. If you want to join up, we'd be happy to have you. Don't care if you have any theater aspirations. Don't care if you ever want to perform. We'll just teach it." What she was saying was, if your check clears, you're in the class.
There you go.
But
you're talented if your check clears. Otherwise, you suck.
Exactly. Sorry, you have to start again. But I wound up doing 5 shows a week with Del. And Del was John Belushi's acting coach on Saturday Night Live. And And he taught improvisation almost as a religion. It was a way to behave in life, and it really is. We all improvise every day. And so for me, that became an interesting little dilettante hobby. That was kind of a wonderful thing to do on the side, but never something I thought I would do full time until now. And that's really what happened to me after I got dumped by KBPI. I was trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm not sure how many others you're in my boat, but it turns out I don't have a savings to retire to or anything. So
You know, I don't think anybody in media does,
It doesn't
because you never
work
worked there long enough
no,
to get it.
you can't.
It's like,
All I got to show is some good candy from the canteen, and that's it.
no, a couple of trade certificates.
Yeah, that's I can get in for free to 2 shows. But no, I realized that I love improvisation. I love to watch people learn it. I love to teach people how it operates. Improvisation, you do it every day. Nobody gets a script. And so for me, the laugh coach is an outgrowth of that, deciding I want to do this because I'm going to have to do it until I'm 100 years old. So I might as well find something that I love to do, and this is it. And it's so much fun.
Great. Now, tell us a little bit, what do you do as a laugh coach?
Coach me. Yeah, it's the life.
Like I don't laugh enough.
I'm not a life coach. I'm a laugh coach, and the idea is that improvisational comedy techniques will help you get through your day. It's all about listening, how people pay attention to you, how you pay attention to other people, how to keep things moving forward, how to make the best of a bad situation, how to look at things differently. It's all of those kind of skills, and it really is. It's kind of like life coaching. It's kind of like corporate coaching, but it's a question of changing your brain to function in a different way, to listen differently, to not be defensive, to be open to things. We're a collaborative species, and we need to work with each other to find better ideas.
And I know that you've done a couple of these, and you're going to do one coming up for Camp Wapi Yapi, which is a place where I hang my hat, my real job.
I'm so excited.
And I know that you have been very helpful with auctions and doing some things with charity and doing it very reasonable and just bringing some life and some fun and some great entertainment as well as raising money. So tell us a little bit about that.
It's the question is, we all have in our minds, if I say, hey, you're going to be at a fundraiser, you know in your mind what's going to happen at this fundraiser,
right.
and sometimes you go, this is going to be great because I care about the cause, or you're going to go, this is awful, but I have to go do it. Well, my thought process is let's make this fun for everybody and make it all inclusive and interactive and bring some people out and do something a little bit different. And we've talked, you and I and Darla have talked about Wapi Yapi and what happens at the camp. So at this the fundraiser for the kids in the camp, we're going to have the parents do, not the parents, but the adults that are at the fundraiser, do the actual things that the kids will do at the camp. There's a squirrel song, the gray squirrel song.
Oh, yep.
Adults will sing it. And it's encouraging people to behave like children. Step outside.
Step outside the box. We're Wapi Yapi, Camp Wapi Yapi, for those of you, many of the listeners here are already familiar with it because we have a download where you can buy 8 songs that we play here on the station, and the money goes to Camp Wapi Yapi. But Camp Wapi Yapi is a summer camp for children who have pediatric cancer and their siblings. And it's free. And it takes place every summer, about 200 kids, sometimes a little more. It just depends on how much money we raise all year long, so how many kids we can send. The camp is just wonderful. It's totally free. The parents get a break. You know, I mean,
right.
Think about that. The break. I mean, everyone needs a break as a parent, but people that have kids with special needs and special health issues really need that break. The siblings get a chance to go there and just be kids and forget about cancer, and the kids get that chance. The patients, the children that have cancer or that have fought cancer and won, or in the middle of the battle, can go there and just recover.
Just be a kid.
Be a kid. Get a week of childhood back. They get a lot of it stolen.
Absolutely.
When that happens.
Which is really a shame.
So that's Camp Wapi Yapi, and if anyone's interested and wants to help us, you can download some fabulous songs right here. You just go to our front page on our website, kuhsdenver.com, and that money would go. You can also go to the campwapiyapi.org website, and you can check and see the kids having a great time, and look at we call it some more. We're in the some more business. We're providing some more smiles.
I like that.
And some more love and some more hope and happiness.
And chocolatey marshmallow goodness.
And good stuff.
Yeah.
And fun. And so you can check all that out if you want to support it. But Matt's a supporter. He's going to be doing our auction this year for our event, Campfires and Cocktails, on September 21st.
We're going to get everybody up to do some improv games and play a little bit here and there and just have some fun. The whole idea is to behave like a child. There's a teacher named Keith Johnstone who teaches improvisation at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, and he was a kindergarten teacher. And he got upset with teaching kindergarten because he'd take the kids out and they'd draw the tree in the courtyard, and the kid who drew the tree with a black crayon was told he was wrong, and he didn't think that was the proper way to treat the child. So his basic approach was, he said, instead of treating children as immature adults. We need to treat adults as atrophied children.
I love that.
Classical education structures all the creativity out of it. And we all do it. If you get up and go to work, you know the way you're supposed to behave at work and the way you're not supposed to behave at work. Well, guess what? Try and behave a little bit wrong.
Yeah, and then you get dumped like Matt and I have.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just
You'll
kidding.
move on and have a good time.
I'm just
You'll have the
kidding.
better time.
You'll
You'll
have a
change
better
the
time.
outcome. Change the outcome by changing the way your brain works.
Happy people, I used to say this when I was general manager at Radio Disney, and we had a great staff and we had a lot of fun because happy people work better.
Right.
I don't know where this thing came about where people have to be miserable and you have to beat them up and you have to do all these things to get them to perform. Because if someone loves what they're doing, they do it better. And we had great sales numbers, and I never really had to beat the staff up because we had fun. Sometimes we got, it wasn't always perfect, and there was times when we had to say, okay, we got to figure out how to fix this or do this. But we always did it with laughter and a break and a smile, and it just worked out.
Absolutely. Well, the ideal thing is it's flow. It's those times where you have like the whole world is at your fingertips and everything has worked absolutely the proper way, and you go home just going chest out, I am mighty. All things have worked for me wonderfully today. Isn't this fabulous? And it's the truth. You can set yourself up to do that. That's what improvisation is about. It's about being in this moment, right here, right now, fully listening, fully functioning, and making things happen.
No,
and we're not very good at it.
No, I think we get stuck, like you said.
Well, we stop listening, right? I'll start to tell you a story, and you'll listen for a couple of seconds, and then your brain starts to go, I need to have a better story than his story. As soon as he takes a break, I'm going to tell the story. Well,
that's so true.
Then you don't listen anymore. And we all drop out. We all do it. But the best time for me to be here, to do anything I'm doing, is to communicate with you and listen to you and just be here, which means I have to let go of anything I think might happen or anything I want to have happen or any story I think has to be told and respond to you. Yeah. My friend Mark Beltzman says, let's replace thinking with listening. And it's really cool.
Actually, that's and I know that's a thing I have. I have ADD, like many of us in the business, and so I'm always jumping ahead, and that's not done on purpose, but it's not always the best thing to do for listening. What? Tell me a little. Let's talk about KBPI and some of the funny radio stories. Let's.
Well, I started with KBPI. I was a tour manager for rock and roll bands for 25 years. I was out with a whole bunch of different bands, and so what would happen would be I would come home from tour and I would do a show every Sunday night at Cafe Zero, just north of Herman's Hideaway there. Mm-hmm. Cafe Zero, I'd do a show called Matt Kneed Forever. It'll make the rest of your life seem so short. And it was basically, it was me and a comedian and a musician, and we'd sit and we'd talk and we'd play some music and we'd tell some jokes and just kind of hang out. But I'd wind up telling stories from the road. And one night, the girl who was producing Lynn Ryan, who produced the Uncle Nasty show at that point, came in and saw the show. And when it was over, she said, you have to come on the Uncle Nasty show. And so I came on with Greg, with Uncle Nasty, and just had a ball. And so what would happen would be I'd go on the road for 2 or 3 months, and then I'd come home, and I'd go back on with Nasty and tell 2 or 3 stories. And that started to be a good thing. And then some radio consultant heard us together and said, that's good stuff. And so they put us together. And it was, for me, all of the good choices that I've made in terms of work have all been based on improvisation, which is say yes to the opportunity. Say yes to the opportunity. Yes. If it feels right, go say yes. Because I never would have been a rock and roll tour manager. I never would have been an improv teacher. I never would have been on the radio if I'd let my Midwestern doctor's son brain get involved and be like, no, there's no future in that. How much money can you make? Can you get a guaranteed blah, blah, blah? It's just so boring.
I know, my career has been that way too. It was always like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I wanted to be in theater. I wanted to do stand-up comedy, which I have a funny, that funny story I'll tell. I did that for a little bit. And then when I couldn't figure out what I was going to do, I thought, well, I'll just be in radio. That'll be fun. And my family was supportive, but they were like, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. I'm just going to try to get in radio. And I got very lucky, and I started at AM 95 Kim, which, of course, is one of the AM rockers, was a legend. I was so fortunate to get there,
That's cool.
And I was their creative services director. And so I didn't really do a lot on air, although sometimes they'd bring me in and make me pretend I was the chicken's mother on air or somebody's wife or, little bits like that. But it was just, it gets in your blood. You can't stop doing it. And then every opportunity that came up after that, I never really looked. It just kind of, oh, hey, do you want to do this? Oh, hey, do you want to do that? Hey, and it just kind of fell into my lap one after the other after the other.
Things that you wouldn't think would be a job. You go, okay, really? I can do that?
I know,
okay.
Seriously. Like when I tell people, what did you do for a job? And especially back then when you did all those big promotions yourself. And I'm like, well, I built a haunted house. One time I had a guy, dress up like a cow and run through the streets screaming, don't eat me chickens or something, things that were insane. And they're like, you did what? I managed a chicken.
Oh my God!
I mean, it's like, you gotta be kidding me.
I did. You remember a few years back there was a Runaway Bride?
Oh yeah,
The Runaway Bride. So I had tickets to one of the big concerts. I can't remember which one, but I basically put on a wedding veil and disappeared into the city of Denver. And then what I was doing was calling into the show while Nasty was on the air and giving hints as to where I was.
Runaway Bride.
And whoever found me in my bridal veil, which was, I mean, whoever found me in my bridal veil got the tickets to whoever found me first. And so that was really, those are the
things. Oh,
anytime you said, what if? Wouldn't it be cool if?
I know.
The great thing about the radio gig was, wouldn't it be cool if? And somebody would go, I think we can do that. I'm pretty sure we can make that happen.
I was just talking to Stu Evans' last show, who was one of the DJs on Kim, and that's what we were saying. It was like we'd sit in a room and go, hey, let's do this, and it would be crazy and insane, and somebody'd go, okay.
Yeah, we'll go do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was like you couldn't think of anything that was too crazy. I mean, it was like, you really couldn't. It was like, okay.
I enjoyed it. Now, it was finally, so I was notorious because I was never trained in how to use a board.
Oh, boy.
So I was notorious for screwing up on the air, where my mic would be live and open, and I would be saying the wrong things and off-color comments and nasty stuff. And finally, what ultimately got me fired was I went in one day to record. I did a Sunday morning show.
Oh, no.
And it was matched, all the studios, KBPI, KBCO, they're all there together. And they were all matched up. They're all identical, which to me means, hey, that way if you have to go in. So I went into KBCO studio because BPI studios were all full. Well, unbeknownst to me, their board was live. So while trying to record my show for Sunday morning, I took KBPI off the air for 18 minutes. And it's all, and God bless me, I did not curse at all, but I was harumphing and coughing up phlegm and clearing my throat and repeating myself and trying to get, because you do it all. Because all the breaks, you want to get your break down before the break comes up. So you put in your head and you go, well, that was Rolling Stones. It's only rock and roll, but I like it. And then you come back in, and then you try that. And then you go, no, not that. Let's try it this way. And you're spitting phlegm all over the place and whatever.
Oh, God.
And there actually was
that's really attractive.
There was
Thanks
a thank
for sharing.
you. Well, that's how we dressed it up off the air. And then somebody actually counted that somewhere it's out there. I'm sure if you Google it, you can find. Somebody did a minute-by-minute breakdown of how many times I cleared my throat, how many times I coughed, how many times I started over. And while this is happening, I'm in the KBCO studios. So I've got my phone turned off because I don't want to be interrupted while I'm on trying to get the stuff recorded. And I can see to my left that the KBCO phone, the studio phone, is just going crazy. And I can't figure out why, because it turns out, I mean, it's, Saturday morning. Why would anybody be calling now? There's not even a show on right now. This is stupid. And it was the program director trying to get me on the phone to say, dude, you're taking us off the air. And it's a Saturday, so there's nobody in the building really to come down the hallway and just go, hey, idiot, you've done it.
Oh, my God.
So that was the one. And I knew when I got off the air there, I had that horrible feeling of just like your guts gone, whatever. Yeah, I'm done.
You're done. Oh, my God. Yeah, I would love to have seen the face of the program. Program director face must have been like twice its size, bright red, sweating, and
I don't know, man.
Coming down the hall like if he was there, would have come down the hall like a
charging through the door. Yeah, the door would have come off the hinges, and I would have been thrown through the wall. But it was not a particularly fun time, but it was also one of those things where once it was done, I realized that it was holding me back and making me unhappy. So here I am now.
Now you're happy.
Way happier. Yeah, the Laugh Coaches. I mean, this is my favorite thing to be doing right now. My favorite thing to be doing. I just started doing. There's a thing. If you go to mattneed.com, you can find all the information about me on there. But I'm doing a thing called the Life at Your Party.
That sounds fun.
So the Life at Your Party is instead of playing Cards Against Humanity or some other card game on your game night, have me come over and I'll take you and 8 of your friends or 10 of your friends through a 2-hour improvisational comedy.
That sounds really
I've done it a couple of different times and it's really fun.
That just sounds incredibly fun.
Shared laughter brings groups together. And improvisational comedy is all about inclusion and keeping people together and listening to each other and working together. And it's really wonderful to see it happen and really hilarious. We played one game at the party I was at last weekend. We played the first game and the woman goes, man, my face hurts. My cheeks hurt from laughing so hard. And it's not complicated. It's not about how much you know or how quick you are on your feet. It's about how well you're listening and playing with everybody else and how much you can just let go of that part of us that makes us go, I don't want to see. How do I look? Do I look okay? Is there something between my teeth? It's beautiful, man.
Well, I was going to tell you, I think I shared this with you, but I always had this thing. I wanted to do some stand-up, so I had an opportunity to do it. And I was doing it for a while, and it was pretty good. And then the last gig I did, it scared me, so I haven't done one since. I went in, and it was like at some service club organization, and they wanted to change it up, and they wanted stand-up comedy instead of the typical MC.
Right.
Well, they should know what they're asking for.
Right.
You know, but sometimes people don't realize that what you're really asking for is somebody to come up there and pick on people and have fun. And maybe, I didn't tell any off-color jokes, of course, with that group. But I said, okay, give me a list of people that are important to your organization that we can have fun with. Give me a little bit of feedback about them so I can make some jokes and have some fun. And these dumb, these people gave me a list of people. And they said, okay, this one found at the club. This one did this happened, that happened. And I made up some particular jokes kind of picking on them. So I started, and everybody's like, haha, and I pick on this one guy, and the whole room's silent. And I've lost the room, and they're looking at me like I got 3 heads, and I'm going, I do another joke and nothing. And I wasn't bad at this. I mean, I would have got a few laughs.
Right.
Going,
should have been working.
Should have been working, and I'm like, and I finally I saw I better switch mood, so I just switched out of that, tried something else, and they're all sitting there still staring at me, and I said, okay, I'm just going to go be a regular MC right now. So I just switched. And then I got out, and somebody came up to me afterwards and said, we cannot believe how insensitive you are. And I said, what? The guy had died like 2 years ago. They gave me the name of somebody who was dead to make fun of.
You can laugh about a lot of stuff, but not the dead guy.
I mean, especially the founder. I was like, what?
Oh, man.
Oh, I was mortified. Oh my God. But anyway, no wonder the room died, literally.
Suddenly you go, I thought I was in the right place. I thought this is why they wanted me here. Oh, no.
Yeah, that was, and I kind of went home and I said, I don't know if I'm going to do this thing. I do want to do it, but I kind of put it on hold.
You got to come back and do it.
I should come back and do it. But it was like traumatizing.
Always, but it's such a wonderful terror, and you should get back on that horse and ride.
I probably should.
And in fact, you've got the great bit to kick it off with as to why you haven't been doing stand-up. You can start with the idea that, hey, I'm not going to make fun of any dead people anymore.
Yeah, that's out.
That's pretty off the table.
Kills
right
the room.
Now. Off the table right now.
Just done.
I opened for Rick Springfield at one point.
Oh, did you?
And I wasn't on the bill anywhere, so there was a whole audience full of women who were Rick Springfield fans who had no idea they were going to see me. They hated me. There was no answer, no jokes, no nothing. And I was supposed to do 30 minutes. I think 15 minutes in, I said, "Look, man, when I was down in my dressing room, I could hear you guys up here chanting Rick, 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 Rick. Do me a favor, and I'll call it a night. Matt." And they all went, Matt, 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 Matt. And I said, "Thank you. Good night.
See you later.
Bye-bye."
Bye.
It was beautiful.
Oh God, that's funny. Well, I was speaking of improv, and I think I was having lunch with someone the other day, and I'll keep the person's name quiet, but I'm sitting there, and she's talking to me about work, and this woman's very attractive, and she said, someone had made an off-color suggestion to her, and she had said, well, you can't talk like that, you can't say that in the workplace. And I go, why not? I'm just asking. And she goes, no, haven't you ever heard of the Pound Me Too movement?
Oh my God.
And I looked at her, and I stopped for a minute, and I said, Pound Me Too? I said, okay, there's your problem. That's the wrong. I said, okay, Pound Me Too means something else.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
Yeah. Pound Me Too is for the people who want it. Hashtag is for people who don't.
Oh my God.
But we sat there in that restaurant and laughed so hard we were crying. I mean, it was like, she's like, I don't understand. I said the Pound Me Too.
That's so funny.
Isn't that funny?
That's beautiful.
I was like, okay, the Pound Me Too hashtag. Don't mix it up.
Pound and hashtag are two different things.
Two different meanings on that.
Two different things, for sure, man. Wonderful.
But it was so funny because sometimes out of simple conversations, you find these ironic things that pop up. And it's like, and that's what you jump on.
Right.
To make humor. And I believe in humor. I think it's the greatest gift we can give ourselves and to the people we know is to enjoy our life and to laugh and not take anything too serious.
That's the only way we do it to ourselves.
Fun.
We do it to ourselves.
We do. And you know what? Nothing's sacred as far as I'm concerned. It's just, it's just not. And it doesn't, and the jokes I make don't necessarily reflect my views, but they reflect what's going on at the time in the communities and the public.
So, well, Del, the guy that taught me improvisational comedy, I'll go back to Del again, because Del would say things like, look, if you treat people as poets and geniuses, they respond as poets and geniuses. Mm-hmm. And it really is about how you treat everybody around you. And that's what's wonderful about improvisation is the more I can allow you in, the better this whole thing gets for all of us. The more I take myself out of the equation. It's not about me being a star. It's about me putting it together for you to shine the way you want. And then you're doing the same thing for me, and then the whole thing gets better because we're working together. Work it all out together. That's cool. And that's really what
There's a couple people up there. Let me see who's up there. Bridget Clinch. Hi, Bridget.
Hi, Bridget.
How are you? Say hi. Say hi to Bridget.
Hi, Bridget.
I haven't seen everybody because it's hard. The older I get, the harder it is for me to read the little feeds up there. So I'm like, I don't know who's really
you still have to get that giant phone. You need to get the phone the size of a TV and you'll be fine.
I know, that's what I need. How's the international camera doing, Henry?
Good.
There's this voice off in the distance. It's Henry. Lean in here, Henry.
Disembodied voice
Here's
of
Henry.
Hi, Henry.
Oh, there he is. Okay. He's like, hey, my little friend. That's it. How we got a lot of people on there from different. Where from?
I can't see the internet.
Oh, can't see it. We can't see the call anymore. Well, we usually have about 10, 12,000 people on there. So we want to say hi to everybody. I do this every show. Hi, everybody international. I'm sorry. We'll vote him out. Okay.
Wow.
I know. I'm sorry. We'll vote him out as soon as we can. I want to give a big shout out to a young lady that's just incredible. Her name is Elizabeth DiGiorgio McBrien, and she is a stylist, a makeup artist, and a hairstylist at Storybrick Salon. And I go there. Denise Plant goes there. A whole bunch of people go there in the media and all around the community. She is just phenomenal. She does a great job, and she's so kind that she donates her time to women's shelters, battered women's shelters, and homeless shelters.
Can she
And-
do something with the?
Well, yeah, I don't.
It's not really
The,
the world's largest forehead. I can signal planes.
can signal. Call it a Frankenhead. That's what.
It's nice. Frankenhead. Okay, fine. Fine.
I'm sorry. Man. But anyway, I
Wait
just
till
want to
I'm
give a big
dead and
shout
tell
out
that
to
to my
Elizabeth and
family.
thank her for her dedication to the community
Yeah.
and all that. So if you need somebody to do a great job on your hair, just check out Elizabeth at Storybrick Salon.
Beautiful.
Anyway, Matt, so what do you think when you were a kid? When you were a kid growing up, what were the things that if you look back now that you realized that you probably were going to be involved in comedy or media or entertainment of some kind?
I was always entertained by comedy. I would watch comedy, and my brother and I, still 40 years later, can recite long stretches of Monty Python's Flying Circus stuff together. In fact, something will happen, and my brother will call me and go, "While they're all saying the comfy chair," and we all know exactly where that goes and exactly what that is. I was a huge fan of comedy growing up, but I never thought I'd be doing it. My dad's a doctor, my uncle's a doctor, my grandfather's a doctor, my cousin's a doctor, and all I ever knew in my whole life was, I don't want to be a doctor. Nobody comes to see you when they're happy. So I didn't know what I was going to do. And then it wasn't until after I graduated from college and had a degree in technical communications that I wound up in this nightclub in Chicago and saw this show that blew my mind and started me down this road. And it's really, if I were to look back, it would be we put on shows as kids. We definitely put on shows as kids.
I'm gonna after this song, Henry, I'll jump in and do a little station ID if you need it. Okay. So I brought some fun stuff that one of the things we do on the show here, I was telling you is that we have fake news that should be fake but isn't, conspiracy theory, a bunch of stuff like that. And of course, fake news, Fox. Okay, no, that's all I have to say.
That's it, right? Just in a word, Fox.
Fox. And in another, Breitbart, all those great publications. But anyway, what I wanted to do was just have you join me. And
Sure, absolutely.
We can talk about some of the things I found today. Now, what I'm doing instead of fake news today is just oddities, news that should be fake, but it's actually real. Oh, the White House. Oh, Putin. Let's see. No, we'll skip that. But anyway, we'll skip some of that.
Hot button topics.
Yeah, hot button topics. I don't know. I'm trying to just talk myself off a ledge when it comes to some of that. So we're going to talk about some other dumb things.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Liz. There's Liz Ann on there. And
Liz
Terry
Ann's and Terry.
Lutz. I went to
Yeah.
college with Terry. Hey,
Right on.
how are you? Thanks for tuning in. She's, I think, in Illinois. She's far away.
Wow.
She's far
I'm
away.
impressed. We're reaching across the country, ladies and gentlemen.
Across the globe. So here's this news report. It's Back to the Future on the Long Island Railroad. The nation's largest railroad commuter train system said Friday it's printing next month's tickets on paper marked for 2016 and 2019 due to a problem with its usual supply. Riders who get monthly tickets will see a big 19 on their ticket instead of 18 for the one on August, and monthly tickets will be out of the machine will have 16 on them with an expiration code you're supposed to ignore, December 31st,
Wow.
2016.
So anybody who's saved a ticket
Oh yeah, you're
from December 31st, 2016,
Yep.
you can ride for free now.
yeah, pretty much. Or if you save the ticket maybe from 2019. I don't know. It's kind of weird, isn't it? And the other thing they're not doing, the other tickets, the older tickets, have a box on it where you would check male or female. Like, why do they need to know that on a commuter train?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that one.
I-
I would suppose it's so that you could work out a demographic and decide what kind of ads you're going to sell on the train.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Because that was back when people were gender biased about everything, and now we're trying to get rid of that.
It could be for ads. I was thinking maybe it would be, I don't know if they have bathrooms on there. Maybe it's like, okay, we need 3 bathrooms. I don't know. Or we need,
There are no bathrooms on
I don't
commuter
know.
trains.
I've never been on one. Or like a subway, right?
Yeah, there's no bathrooms.
Oh no,
on
they just
subway
pee in the
trains.
aisle. I forgot. Yeah, they don't need a bathroom.
Open the door and take a whiff, baby.
Just there you go.
That smells like 3 guys and 1 girl peed on the train. That's what it is.
That's okay, so you don't have to worry about that.
But no, I don't know, man. There's got to be though. There's some guy who was a genius who
Ready to do a little break.
guy was a genius who basically just kept those boxes around. We'll never use them, and then we did.
Oh. Love this song. Love it, love it, love it. That's Bruce Springsteen, Hungry Heart. I love Bruce. And before that was Tom Petty, Santana, Rolling Stones. We're playing all kinds of great rock and roll here today in honor of my guest, Matt Kneed, former former KBPI DJ and comedian. I'm Rhonda Shea. Thanks for tuning in to the WTF right here on KUHSdenver.com. In a couple of minutes, we're going to have Matt on, and we're going to talk a little bit of comedy, and we're going to have some fun, talk about his new career as a laugh coach. Back to the music. Okay, Matt. So, yeah, I mean, I was like looking at this going, really?
No.
You know, I don't know.
But I don't see. To me, if you look at it and go, okay, in a world where we're recycling,
Well,
this
yeah,
guy they saved tickets from, to 2016. Good Lord, they saved tickets from 2016. They're reusing them. And then 2019.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying
Why didn't they do it
travel.
before? You know, if they could do it now, they should have just left it.
Right, it's odd to be. I don't know.
I don't know. Let's see if they have a DeLorean. Okay.
Right.
It's like, that's weird.
The train. I'm riding a train, and it's in the future.
Okay, this is interesting to me. This one is in San Antonio, Texas. A baby girl is guaranteed food for life and a job after her mother gave birth in a Chick-fil-A bathroom. That is, of course, unless the baby girl grows up to be a lesbian. Then she's out.
You can't have it.
Yeah,
then
then
it's
she's
big
out.
as not yours.
But,
Wow.
Yeah, so can you imagine? Phelan Griffin was having contractions when she and her husband stopped at the Chick-fil-A restaurant in San Antonio to drop off their other children so that their friends could watch the children. And all of a sudden, it was just too late. The egg was cracked or something. They started coming out. So she had to run to the bathroom and banged on the door, and the store manager helped her open the door because it was locked. She was screaming, I guess. I don't know what she was screaming for. I don't need a Chick-fil-A.
Contractions.
Oh, yeah.
She's in pain. She's
I
going to
thought
have a
she
baby.
wanted food. Give me
Right.
what do they sell at Chick-fil-A? I don't even know because I don't set foot in
They've
one.
got the delicious waffle cut fries.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Give me a waffle cut
I
fry.
came here for the waffle cut fries, and instead I had a baby in the bathroom.
And then, so she got her some towels, and apparently the baby was born there. This is kind of gross. Husband Robert Griffin says he managed to unwrap the umbilical cord. Oh, this is really good. That baby could have died from around the baby's neck. They were very, very lucky. That was good thing they were in a place that believed in God, right? Because that was like a miracle.
She has a job when it becomes age 14. She'll have a job.
That's right.
Free food for life at Chick-fil-A. So
And a job. She'll need free food if the only job she ever has is
my
Chick-fil-A.
God.
You won't make enough money. to live.
Unfireable. You can act however you want. I'm sorry, I was born in the bathroom. You can't get rid of me. I'm here. I don't care.
Yeah.
You don't have to give a dang about your job.
I mean, oh my God.
What else you got?
Well, we got another one here. This is I think this is kind of cute. There is a dog is home after police in New Jersey, after police in a New Jersey shore town posted its mugshot on social media. So here's what happened. The police went out, they found this dog, and it was a pug, and it couldn't actually get in their car, so they picked it up and they brought it back to the station. They thought it would be funny. They put a mugshot on it, took a picture of it, and put them on Facebook, and then made the bail be like 24 homemade cookies.
Oh, nice.
So the owner saw it, brought the cookies, bailed her dog out, and brought him home.
That's very cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's very cool.
I love police when they're creative and fun.
Right? It must be a difficult gig to have at this point.
Yeah, and it's I think it would be a very difficult gig. I respect police tremendously. I'm not saying they're all perfect, but the majority of them are really great guys and gals that put their life on the line for us every single day, and they help pugs get home. So that's
Being the pug.
I know those are funny dogs, aren't they? Pugs.
Cute little dogs.
You know who has a pug is Jackie Selby on Cozy. She loves pugs. She has a couple of them, I think. I like bulldogs. We had English bulldogs.
We had everything. I think we had 17 dogs as I was growing up because every time the dog did anything untoward, dog was gone.
Oh.
To the farm.
Oh, yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went through the list one day about where all the dogs are gone.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awful.
I didn't have a dog of my own until I met my girlfriend about 9 years ago. We had an 11-year-old Irish setter who was a genius.
Oh, that's great.
Wonderful doggies, man. But yeah, pugs are cute. Pugs are cool.
I like him. And then right now we have a cattle dog, and he's smarter than my husband. It doesn't take much, but the cattle dog's smarter than my husband. It's like the cattle dog knows when not to piss me off. My husband doesn't. The cattle dog knows, when it's okay to come up and lick my face. My husband doesn't. It's like, no. Anyway, Kentwood, Michigan. So I think this one's fun. Twin sisters. They're identical twin sisters. It's hard to tell them apart. Even their parents have trouble telling them apart. Monica Sparks is running as a Democrat in Kent County's 12th district seat, while her Republican sister, Jessica Ann Tyson, hopes to represent the 13th district. But Tyson, as we said before, is a Republican, and Monica is a Democrat.
How does that even happen with twins?
I don't know. I think it proves that there's no difference between the parties. This should be
We're all just
they're
people.
all
We're
trying
all
to
just
screw us.
people. Come on.
That's it. There's no difference. But anyway, the sisters don't clash on a lot of issues, but they remain loyal to their parties and they endorse each other's opponents. So in other words, they're supporting each other, but they're sisters. It's kind of weird, isn't it? I don't know how you get one in a family, because usually
I
people.
would want to be there early on when the dynamics started to fall apart.
Well,
Because right away you're dressing your twins the same. You know you are. You got cute little twin girls. You're going to put them both in the same outfits, and sooner or later there's a rebellion. We want to be as far away from each other as we can possibly be. And in fact, you be Republican and I'll be Democrat.
Wow.
And next week we can trade because nobody can tell us apart. So I'll be Democrat. You can
Yeah,
reverse
that's
out.
it. I had friends in high school that did that. Like one of them was good at math and one was not, and
Right.
they switched.
To take the test and
Yeah,
then pass
It was
school.
like they did all the time.
So it doesn't matter who's elected. Either one of them can serve.
Yeah.
The other one just, why don't you go in today? I'm kind of tired.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
really.
do it.
You go in. You vote out. You go in today. The vote's on this.
Yeah.
You take care of it.
Negotiate. Yeah, you're better at that than I am. I'm going to go have a sandwich.
Really. And anyway, they told that they thought the reason might be that they told the TV station that interviewed them their birth mother was addicted to heroin, and they were both adopted into a family that taught them to be civically engaged. So they were, taught at an early age to be part of their community.
Wow.
And one of the parents didn't really talk a lot about politics, and one affiliated more with Democrat and the other affiliated more with Republican. So possibly based on the relationship that they had. Okay, here's a good one. Maybe we can get some people from the Midwest to help us with this problem. Okay, a German city is looking for a way to get rid of a giant catfish. It's believed to have developed a taste for ducklings after eating its fellow fish in a municipal pond. It is roughly 4.9 feet long. This fish is like almost as tall as I am.
That's crazy.
Okay,
That's
and
huge.
it's been making waves, and I can't even say this word, in Offenbach, near Frankfurt. The news agency DPA reported that the city government said Monday that it had found a professional angler to catch the fish. I don't know how you'd get an angler. I mean,
It's like a radio
I think
guy.
you
I'm
need
a
those swamp
professional
people.
fisherman. I'm a professional. Yeah, the guys that go, I don't know what it's called. There's a word for it. When you go down and have the thing eat your arm.
Yeah, that's what they need. They eat your
Have
whole
the
body.
catfish eat your arm. But yeah, a 5-foot catfish.
You should take like a
pretty
baby
scary.
and hold it by its feet.
Take a baby and hold it by. Yeah, you're right. Just bait it.
Bait the baby.
Bait it. Baby baiting.
Oh God, that's bad. But anyway, so that fish was first seen about a year ago, and so they have to sign a formal contract still. They haven't done that, and the city plans to have its guests caught alive and taken to a private pond somewhere where it can eat the ducks there. Anyway, the officials will first have to be satisfied that it can't escape into flowing water that is near its new home, and it's suitable for a catfish. Okay, if you know anything about catfish, there's nothing not suitable for a catfish.
They're bottom feeders. They eat junk and ducklings, apparently.
There were stories on the Mississippi River and the locks down there. I heard when I was younger, where the divers would be down there looking at stuff, and they'd see catfish. They would say the size of a station wagon, but and
big.
But I don't believe they were that big. But I know that they can grow to be 6 feet, 7 feet.
You suppose they'll have a fish fry? I mean, they're gonna
I'd catch that
them.
thing, kill it, and chop it up.
I'm gonna make them catfish. Fried catfish is good
Man,
stuff.
that'd be good. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it'd be good if it's that big. I mean, I don't know enough about catfish to know. Any catfish people out there?
What a shame to kill the catfish and discover it's not very good.
Watch without sound shows you talking and him laughing. He may be. I'm keeping you
works.
laughing. I'm keeping you
Laughter
laughing.
is universal.
Okay.
We can all laugh.
That's right. We can do silent laughing. You have to do
It's
that
all
all the
good
time
stuff.
when you go to a funeral. Do you ever go to a
Oh,
Oh,
the more serious you're supposed to be, the funnier everything is.
oh my God. Funeral laughing is the worst. Funeral laughing is the absolute.
On the other hand, maybe it's the best.
Yeah, maybe.
We don't know.
You know, I've always threatened when I die, I'm going to hire a comedian to come in and stand up and start to do a eulogy and just
Yeah.
see if they can get the
See if
whole
somebody-
place to just
See if everybody
crack
will
up.
laugh.
Yeah. And then I'll feel bad because that's the best kind of laugh because you're going,
Right? Sneaking it out. What did he just say? What did he do? Too
it's
funny.
bad. It's bad. Should we do another break? Do we have the music running? Are we live or what's the deal?
Yeah, you want to.
Yeah, well, I want to interview Matt. Let's get Matt on the air after this song.
Cool.
We can finish the song. Thanks. All right, I wasn't sure. See, we got a big screw up. Now we're laughing. Oops.
No, she's done. That's the end of that
That's
song.
the end of that song. It went really quick, didn't
Yeah, it did have a nice little end to
it?
it.
I love that song. It was like, oh, wow.
Sarah, a little Fleetwood Mac for you.
That was Fleetwood Mac.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
I love Stevie Nicks. I think she's.
There's no reason to write any new songs because all the great songs have already been written. Just go back and play the classic rock and shut up with all your new stuff. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Well, they remake it and they ruin it. Or how about when they do, like, they put their voice with somebody?
Yeah.
And it's like, really? That person's been dead for 30 years and you're going to sing a song with them.
They
and-
didn't give their approval. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. They didn't even know you existed.
So I'm with Matt Kneed. Matt is a former KBPI DJ, if you've just joined us. He was there from 2005 to 2013, and he is a comedian. He also has produced many rock and roll shows, worked with some of the big well-known bands, and he has a new business, and I am so excited about it. He is a laugh coach.
The laugh coach.
The laugh coach.
It's not actually, there's no actual laugh coach. Like you can't
Oh,
find
that's right.
that.
You're the only
it's
one.
not a career you can be trained in. You just have to decide you're
Just
going to
laugh.
do it. So I made it up. Yeah.
He ma-
I made up. I didn't want to be a life coach because it turns out everybody's a life coach. Everybody turns around and goes, I'm going to be a life coach.
And everybody's got a
And
life.
we're all going to sit around and coach each other about how to have a life that we don't have because we're all busy coaching each other and nothing's really happening. It doesn't go down that way. The laugh coach is kind of a joke on the life coach situation, but it's all about learning how to laugh at stuff. What's funny? What's not funny? How can I find it? How can I find the humor within what's going on without making a joke at the expense of what's happening really? And that's really the key to the whole thing. How to be present, how to be here, how to be fully engaged with everybody around you. And it's so fun. It's such a great thing to do.
I just think it's a great thing because we need more laughter. We have a whole lot of crazy going on, and we certainly could laugh at ourselves and laugh at each other, laugh at there's a whole lot to laugh at.
Oh, no,
right?
there
my
is.
God.
Everything is to laugh at. Everything is to laugh at. You have to. There's nothing else to do. Anger gets you nowhere. Laughter gets you everywhere.
Yeah. So, and there's just so. I
In
mean,
fact, even if you giggle at the wrong stuff, people go, am I missing something?
Yeah.
Rhonda's laughing. What the
Yeah.
hell? I'm missing something.
yeah. Can I get the inside joke?
Yeah. They'll laugh along with you just because oh, Rhonda. Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
What? Gosh, man. What? Tell me, what do you do when you go in as the laugh coach? I mean, are you the only one? I mean, you could be like the only one I've ever heard.
I'm calling myself the only, I don't know. There's other people out there that do what I do, but basically what it's about is going in to talk to some people. Like if I want to do it at the corporate level, I'll go in and talk to a corporation about what are the challenges. You're having trouble with people listening. You're having trouble with people executing. You're having trouble with confidence, creativity, collaboration. We're a collaborative species. We work together better than we work by ourselves.
That's true.
And we have to learn how to listen to each other and how to be open to ideas. It's contradictive in terms of how most people manage and run a business is that they say, what ideas do you have, Rhonda? And you have to defend your ideas. And then I'll say, what ideas do you have, Matt? And I have to defend my ideas. They're not my ideas or your ideas. They're our ideas all together. And that's what you really want to be working toward is how do people listen to each other, incorporate what each other, how do I hear what you're saying and build on what you're saying versus starting all over again.
Right. And one of the things that that I found in my work, in most of my work, because I was in media for many, many years, you could come up with an idea. Nobody thought it was dumb. You might not have been able to do it because it was couldn't get a permit, or like the city would stop you from riding on a crane and swinging across, with a cape on or something.
Great
But,
idea.
But outside of that, they really didn't stop you. They encouraged that creativity and that fun and that laughing and and they played jokes on each other. And today, I don't think you see as much of that because everybody sues everybody over everything.
We're all afraid of each other.
Yeah, and it's like you can't tease a coworker because it's it's inappropriate or whatever. But back then it was like a big family, and you could do so many crazy things, and it was fun. But then when I went to work in the corporate world, and I like said one joke, I got sent down to HR once, and I had to go through like sensitivity training, and it wasn't even that bad of a joke. I mean, it wasn't anything. It was just fun. I just said, I worked at Regis, and I said, this is the truth. I was standing at some meeting, and I said, I'm really surprised at everybody that works here. They're so nice, except one thing. It's really weird when you're in the parking lot and somebody wearing a "What Would Jesus Do" bracelet flips you off.
Oh, nice. And that got you in trouble?
Yeah, I had to go to sensitivity training. So, but it was like the parking lot was always a mess because of students and everybody.
Right.
And so somebody actually did flip me off wearing a "What Would Jesus Do" bracelet. I
So
was
you're
like,
just speaking the facts.
pretty sure he wouldn't flip me off.
The facts were, yeah, right? Jesus would be like, park wherever you like. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know what he'd do, but he'd probably make a miracle. He'd like lift the car up and just put whatever. But he wouldn't flip you off.
There
That's
were
for
3
sure.
parking spaces, and Jesus, as a valet, parked 42 cars in those 3 parking spaces. It was simple. I don't know how he did it. It was wonderful.
But yeah, I got in trouble. I was like, you can't tell this jokes. I'm like, okay, but
Well,
it happened.
The trick is just to let it all flow over you. Just let it go, because everybody gets bent out of shape about something because they're looking for reasons to be upset. Look for reasons to be happy. Look for reasons to enjoy yourself. There's by my bed. I have a little book. This is all like the laugh coach is not hysterically laughing all the time, but there are things you can do to make yourself happy. Get a little.
I don't want to hear.
Get a little journal.
Matt, I don't want to hear.
Get a little journal. Get a little journal. Put it by your bed, and every night before you go to sleep, write down 5 things that made you happy, 5 things that made you laugh, 5 things that pleased you today. And then before you take your feet off the floor, you're going to bed with something happy in your head. You have happier dreams. You're a happier person. In the morning when you wake up, before you put your feet on the floor, you can look back at that. There's a list of things that made you happy, and it'll keep you happy.
Oh, that's a great idea,
If
actually.
you just focus on the happy stuff, the bad stuff goes away. Anytime you're frustrated, it's because you let somebody else get into your head and control what's happening for you. You're on your way to work, you get cut off by another car. And your "What Would Jesus Do" wristband, you give that person the finger, and you keep driving. And then when you get to work, you drag your coworkers aside and you go, "You're not going to believe what happened." And the truth is, most people will believe what happened. You just had a bad time in traffic. But worse than that, somebody you don't know, who you'll never see again, who you had an infinitesimal encounter with, has ruined your entire day. You gave the whole thing up for them. You've changed the way you treat everybody around you, who you actually do love and know, to be angry and short with them because you're mad about something that happened that who cares? They didn't hit you. You weren't in an accident, so let that go. Let that go. Years ago, I went to LA with a friend, and we had a horrible flight, turbulence everywhere, and we landed, and I said, "Man, that was horrible." He said, "Yeah, it was horrible." He said, "For a while there, I had a chance to be a guy who survived a plane crash. Now I'm just another jerk with a story about turbulence." And that's how you look at it, right? How do I get around all this, man?
That's great.
To be fully present, to be responding to what's happening right now. That's what you want to be doing at all times.
One time I was on a plane that reminded me, and it was bad turbulence, and there was a woman next to me who started, she was an African-American woman, really nice lady, a little bit older than me at the time, and she started praying out loud like you would expect to see in the church. So the turbulence was going, she's going, "Oh," and she's, and,
Right.
and it scared the hell out of me. I'm sitting next to her going, "Oh God, we're really going to crash." And I'm thinking, well, this lady's actually really religious, and she's praying, and she's not caring who's hearing her. So I'm just going to sit really close to her.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the plane didn't crash, right?
No, it didn't.
Okay, so she was really good at
Yeah,
it.
she was good at
She
it.
was really good at it. That's what's going on there.
But I was like, when that started, I was like going, "Oh, we're in trouble."
When somebody finally, maybe that's where people go right away, though. A lot of the true believers speak to their God. And
Well-
give them credit for, if the plane didn't crash, did it?
No, it didn't. You're
Right?
right.
And who knows, if she hadn't have prayed and the thing went down, you'd be so angry with her later. You'd be like, "Oh, come on.
Yeah, why did you do
You
that?
knew you were supposed to pray and you just sat there. Come on."
That'd be true. Oh Lord. What do you think? How are you going to promote your business? What are you planning on doing? Because anytime you get a new business, it's difficult to promote it. And
Well,
this
the
is an
key-
odd thing.
The key is, there's the internet's out there and you can reach billions of people and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to reach that. I want to reach the same 100 people that'll buy every week. I want to reach the same people that'll be around every month. And that's what you do, is you reach out to the people who have a similar mindset, who are open to what it is that you're doing. And that's what I'm really looking for. And for me, I have a Facebook page. I'm on Twitter under Matt Kneed. I'm on Instagram under Matt Kneed. I'm putting it out there. I've got a Groupon that's out there. You can find that for the Laugh Coach. And that includes the Life at Your Party for half price, and it also includes going to my weekly classes. I teach classes every Saturday and Sunday morning at the Toad
Yeah,
Tavern.
tell us about that.
Yeah, well, Saturday and Sunday morning from 9:30 to 11:30. You have to get up early because we got to get class done before the bar opens. How about that? But also, it's a nice way to start your day. It's kind of a mindful, meditative way, but it's really fun, and it's very sharing and very much a supportive group. Saturday morning is called Saturday Morning Laugh and Learn, which we all just get together about how do we behave around each other. We put it up on stage and do some scenic work and try and make some funny things happen and enjoy ourselves. And then Sunday morning is called Improvise for Happiness, and that's about games. It's probably easier if you've never done improvisation to come to the Sunday class. But Saturday and Sunday mornings, 9:30 to 11:30 at the Toad Tavern at 5302 South Federal Circle in Littleton. If you just go down Federal, just past Bellevue on the south side of Bellevue. And it's wonderful, man. It's so much fun to watch people open up and do silly things and act however you want to act. And anything you've ever thought of can happen, and anything you never thought of will happen, and you don't have to be responsible for your behavior. It's a safe space. It's a wonderful spot. It's a really...
That's great.
It's so much fun, and we laughed so hard. I had a great class this morning. We got through a whole bunch of neat stuff, and then I get all wound up. A couple of my students today were like, dude, the best part about this is you are so into this. Yeah, I am. You don't understand.
I think it's great. I really applaud your courage into finding what you love and your passion and deciding to do it, and and just say, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to be the laugh coach, not just
the laugh
a
coach.
laugh
Anybody
coach,
can
the
be
laugh coach.
anybody can be a laugh. But for me, I've had 30 years of improvisational training and experience and performance, and that's what I've done for a long time, and it's been really rewarding. When I started in Chicago, Del Close was my teacher, my director, but I had no idea who Del. He was just he was an old guy who was teaching me this weird stuff. And it turned out that he had a reputation because of his work with Saturday Night Live and John Belushi. He was their acting coach for a long time. So over the course of the 6 years I was in Chicago, I worked with Chris Farley and Mike Myers and Andy Richter and Andy Dick and John Favreau. All these guys we were all there at the same time, and it was really fun. We had no idea what was going on. We were just a bunch of kids trying to get on stage and do something cool, and it really grew out from there. And ever since then, it's just been wonderful. But it's the focus is now here.
I think it's great. I think it's a good time because people are starting to think about how they can do things differently. How are they going to keep employees? They're starting to realize that the constant turnover in those things aren't great.
Well, you keep your employee by making them happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
By showing them how to be happy, by helping them be happy. And then it doesn't matter whether they're really working for you or not.
And we all need a break anymore from the real world because the real world is pretty scary and icky right now. So we've got to, we all need a break from that. And it's fun to go and just laugh or have someone come and show you the lighter side of things.
Right. And then it'll bleed over into your regular life too. It'll change the way you respond to things. Take the opposite choice. If normally you would say no, say yes and see what happens. We decided today we went to lunch after class this morning, and we got to the place we we're going to have lunch, and there was a wait. And we went in, and actually I got there later than everybody else, and I walked in, and my friend Joe, who was in my class, Joe said, we pulled up and there was a wait. My original thought was, I don't feel like waiting. This is stupid. And then I realized what you told me in class was do the opposite and say yes. So I decided, I really enjoy waiting. I'm going to enjoy this. And we went in and we had a conversation and we enjoyed it. It wasn't nearly as long as we thought it was going to be. We got seated. We had a wonderful breakfast. We enjoyed the whole thing. And at no point did we allow some external thing during the day to screw up how good we felt about what was going on.
That's a great point. And you know what? We're going to play. I think we're going to get back to music. We've got time for about one more song, right? Do we have time for one more, Henry? So we're going to get back, play a song, and then we'll continue our conversation for the next few minutes on the video side. And let's see what is coming up next. We have Bruce Springsteen, I'm on Fire. I love that song. Here we go. Thanks for tuning in. KUHSdenver.com. It's a beautiful Saturday. Enjoy the music. So, let's tell the video audience about your Groupon again and how they can find it.
You can find, I'm on Groupon as the Laugh Coach. I'm not sure if you go to mattneed.com, it's up on there. If you go to my Facebook page, I'm the Laugh Coach on Facebook. You can find all that stuff. I've linked it all up there. But it's under the Laugh Coach and it's under improvisation, and you can definitely find it there.
And we had talked about if somebody wanted to, and kick me if I'm saying this wrong.
No, go ahead.
But we had talked about earlier.
I might kick you anyway. I don't know.
Everybody else does. We had talked about Matt offering that service, Life at the Party, to someone who'd like to purchase it, and he would give half the proceeds to Camp Wapi Yapi.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone out there watching that's interested in that, they can just shoot us a thing on Facebook. Just shoot on my Facebook page, or if you're watching on the station's Facebook page, and say, I want Matt at my party. And
That's unlimited, by the way. I'll give you more than one. Whoever wants to do this, it's so much fun.
Okay.
You're going to enjoy the heck out of it, and you'll be given, I'll be given, you'll be given, we'll be giving money to Camp Wapi Yapi.
now, and what does it cost for 2 hours? Let's just let them know, so people don't think it's $20.
It's not, well, it's basically for, if it's 8 or 10 of you is what you want ideally 8 to 10 people, and it's $500 to do the whole thing. So
Boy, what a fun way.
$250 will go, and so you're looking at less than $60. If you ever do a game night at your house, if you bring people over to have dinner and then you play games, this is just a different thing than game night. It's a different game to play.
It should be fun. So thank you for your generous offer. So if anyone's interested in that, they can either go on the station Facebook page as the feed goes through, or they can get on, if you're watching on my feed, you can send us your name, and we'll get back to you and make arrangements for that. But what a generous offer for Camp Wapi Yapi. And for those of you that are just tuning in, Camp Wapi Yapi is a summer camp right here in Colorado that serves children who are suffering, well, I don't want to say suffering, but who have been dealing with pediatric cancer and their siblings. And it's free. And so Matt's helping us out at our big fundraiser on the 21st, and he's also helping with this. So
very excited about it.
All right, Matt, I want to say thank you for being a guest. I think we've got a few more minutes. Can you tell us one more crazy radio story? Do you have one to share?
One more crazy radio story? I don't know, man. The radio days for me were back when I was still really, let's just say I really enjoyed life.
Oh, we all had those, yes.
I weighed about 60 pounds more than I do now, and it turns out I could drink a lot of beer and a lot of whiskey. And it was always, we went to Crazy Plane to Mexico a couple of different times. And that was an all-inclusive resort where, like, when you went in, it was all the booze, everything was inclusive. So on the wall in your hotel room was a dispenser with 3 different bottles of booze on it. So for the whole week I was in Mexico, I brushed my teeth with tequila just to see if that changed anything in terms of how I did stuff. It wasn't as successful as an experiment as I thought. Left me with morning breath and tequila breath, which is not really a good thing for me.
My God. Tequila is deadly, isn't it? Oh, I love it, but oh my gosh, it is. It doesn't love me if I have
it's good for you.
Oh yeah.
Tequila, just so you know, reposado tequila is a natural biotic. It's got it's good for your body. It lowers your blood pressure and it lowers your blood sugar.
Well, okay. Shots after this?
Absolutely. I keep a bottle in the car. I'm kidding.
Right
I do not drink and drive.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
No.
No. But yeah, it's I don't know, be off the top of my head crazy stories. I don't have that many crazy stories that I remember that much. I was so afraid when I started the job because it was totally out of my comfort zone. It was like, really? You just want me to come in here and do this? This is a job and you want me to do this? That I was really kind of reticent to do or say much of anything. And then on the air, I was trying to find my voice, which turned out to be, why don't you kind of be a jerk to people who call in? And that worked out really well for me also.
There you go. Be a jerk. Well, the one of the craziest things that happened with me was on my 30th, I think it was my 30th birthday, we decided to go to Herman's Hideaway.
Yeah.
And so the station went, and there was a DJ was still on the air, and there was, a couple of salespeople, but pretty much all the programming staff, all the people went. I don't know, they just went. And we went there and we were drinking, and we got so wasted. None of us could get home. So we had to call the station and say, we're stuck at this bar. And they're like, what are you doing there? You just went for lunch. Well, it was Rhonda's birthday. Oh. And so everybody is just, and they actually had to send the Kim Traveling Roadshow because it was like, they used to have those great big.
Right. The big van.
Yeah, they had to send the van. Like it was like the paddy wagon. They had to send the van, and everybody worked the station, files in it, and we were all drunk. And it took us all back to the station. And there was like the receptionist, the guy on the air, I think the station manager, maybe the program director, and maybe one other person that wasn't. And we just went back, and we were all just 3 sheets to the wind. And I don't know where else you could work where the whole staff could call up and say, "Hey, can you send a Traveling Roadshow? We're all."
And you still have the job tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we got you. We brought you home, but tomorrow you can just stay home.
They drove us all back to the station, and then we had a blast. And of course, they spent the next week making fun of everybody on the air. That the whole party.
Yeah.
But I know that's why I said, what other job in the world?
It's a good, and most jobs we accept the behavior we're told we have to have. And the truth is, if we push the envelope just a little bit, the job would be way more fun. So go ahead and push the envelope.
Push the envelope.
When you get fired, that's not on me.
Not on the laugh coach.
I didn't do
If
this.
you get fired, call him up. He'll show you how to laugh about it.
It's all fun. There's a good side to this.
That's right. Hey, Matt, thank you.
Thanks for being
coming.
here. I
I
appreciate
appreciate it.
Thanks for having
And
me.
I think you're a great talent. And if anyone's interested, check out Matt's website again. What is
It's MattKneed.com. Need like I need help. The dumbest name on earth. Matt Kneed. It's all names.
Matt Kneed.
Matt Kneed. Matt Kneed. Matt Kneed. What's Matt Kneed?
Nice of me.
Matt needs attention. What's Matt Kneed?
Could be like the Monty Python.
Matt Kneed. Matt Kneed. Matt Kneed.
All right, are we done? All right, say goodnight.
See you guys. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.